And we're live.
Hello, SHL. It's Richard and Luke. I said Richard. I don't know why.
And I'm not Luke.
Luke. Why did I say Luke? I was looking at his questions.
You're looking at his
Oh,
questions.
My brain.
Hi, everybody.
All
It's
right, hey.
it's the Richard and Luke show.
Great start. Holy shit.
Yeah, we're here, baby. We're here.
14? Did I get that right at least?
Fuck, I don't know. Let me go to YouTube real quick.
It's got to be wrong, right? Just based on what just happened.
Probably. I feel like we're on 15, but I'm probably wrong. And we're live.
Hello, SHL.
Nope, we're on 14. You're right.
Okay.
Good on you.
Great.
Here we are.
All right, so at least like one of the things went right to start. Okay. All right, now I'm completely out of my mind. I don't know where to go next. Where do we start? I guess
I don't
we're
know.
in the,
So what's going on? Do we have
we're in
an
the second
intro?
round of the playoffs.
Yeah, we are in the second round of the playoffs.
In both leagues, right?
Well, we're not, but
Well, I mean, some teams have advanced, some teams have not. I think in both leagues.
yes, yeah.
So we've got one finals team in each league, and the other finals representative is yet to be determined. So we can talk about that. We've got actually a question about that anyway. Let's see. Do you want to just go into questions? I don't really. I'm trying
to think if I have anything to intro with here.
It's the worst.
God, it's a good start. It was gonna happen eventually. It was gonna happen eventually.
Yeah.
What can I intro with? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just get into questions because I can't think of anything to intro with.
Yeah. If you had a chance, I guess this probably not because it was posted fairly late last night. Slappy did a little solo, like half hour.
No, I haven't heard it. Is it good?
Yeah, it's short. He sings in it, which is pretty cool. It's
I'm in.
Kind of fun to hear.
You got me.
Yeah, it was just a nice little short thing. He shouts out a bunch of the podcasts. He talks about his media piece that he posted like a week ago, something like that. I forget what else is in there, but yeah, it's nice. It's good. It's good stuff. Very enjoyable. It was a nice like end to my Friday to listen to Slappy sing some Frank Sinatra. So I recommend it.
I'll put it on my list. I always like listening to Slappy talk, so a whole half hour of it is going to be good.
Yeah, and then of course we had what's his name? Argar put a podcast out, and he hasn't done that in a very, very long time.
It's true. I don't think Argar's put one out while I've been on the site.
No, I think he said in it that it was like season 26 was the last time or something like that. Season somewhere, I forget exactly which one. He said somewhere in the area of 24 to 26 was the last time he did one. So it's been a very long time. I knew the question thread was out there, but I don't think I didn't remember ever seeing a podcast from him. But I knew the question thread was out there. So that's pretty good. What else we got? Of course, we got Falk, episode 2 from him. That one's pretty good. What else we got? That's about it, I guess. Other than the kind of usuals, like the... I guess there was a big Slappy hour, but last week. Yeah. Also anxiously awaiting Luke and King's next.
I should go on that podcast and be Luke. We can bring Luke on here. You can be Adam.
Oh, God.
That would go. I think that would go horribly. Not that I don't trust Luke, but just I don't know. Yeah. Let's get into it.
Yeah. So Luke's questions were first, like I kind of said by having his name in my brain to begin with.
It's fine.
Anyway,
I can't blame you.
Oh, God. All right. So his first question is, I think that by the time you guys record, SMJHL and SHL playoffs will be a couple of games into their second round, which is kind of true. It's more towards the end. How have your predictions been?
I think only one team I predicted is in the second round. Because who got in? Winnipeg? Did Calgary get in? No, LA got in.
Yeah.
So
LA,
Winnipeg,
West Kendall,
LA, West Kendall, and Buffalo.
Yeah,
I picked only Winnipeg. I picked everybody else.
I had let's see. I think I had LA, Winnipeg. I did not have West Kendall, and I had Buffalo. That my game numbers, I'm sure, were way off. I don't remember. I think, well, actually, no, that's not true, because I'm pretty sure I would have taken LA in 6 and Winnipeg in 6 as well. So I probably got those, which is nice. But of course, Buffalo and Minnesota I had in 7 because on paper it's very, very even, but did not work out that way, which we will talk about later, certainly. I think Argar does ask a question about that. But yeah, so I did okay on my my predictions, I guess, to this point.
I'm happy for you. I feel like I think we did pick almost opposite in a lot of ways.
I think, yeah, because you had Seattle, I had LA, and then you had Minnesota, and I had Buffalo. I think with the rest the other two we had the same. We both had Winnipeg, and we both had Hamilton, right? I think. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes, we both had Winnipeg and Hamilton.
So while we're kind of in here, do we want to talk about these? Like
the series?
The series?
Yeah, sure.
Because I don't think we have a question specifically about playoffs outside of how we did in our predictions. So we can break things down really quick. Let's see, the West. So the West, we had obviously first round Calgary, Winnipeg.
Yes.
A classic matchup there.
Yeah, it's what you expect from the West.
Yep. Two really good teams. I think, in my estimation, I would have thought going in that Calgary's probably the most dangerous team Winnipeg would face. In my prediction, I had Winnipeg winning the Cup. And in that kind of prediction, I think Calgary would have been the toughest challenge for them along the way. It's not really proving to be the case yet, which we will get into in the next round. But but they did beat Calgary in 6 games. I didn't actually look to see how that series played out. I really didn't pay any attention to any of the series other than the one that I was participating in. So let's take a look. Winnipeg. I won the first 2. So Calgary took game 3 and game 5. Looks like, yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks like the games that, they're all one or two goal games. So reasonably even, looks like. I'd be curious to see. I wish I had checked the league stats at the end of the first round to kind of get an idea of how the teams performed to this point. It's been jumbled up from the second round, so it's hard to exactly say what's going on. But my expectation is that Winnipeg's actually not the leading scorer in the goals per game. Wes Kendall is, which is a bit surprising. I guess not that it's a huge difference. It's the difference of less than 0.2 goals per game, but
I think, yeah. My math is bad tonight, but I think you're right.
Yeah, it's let's see. Wes Kendall right now has 3.64 goals for.
Yeah.
And Winnipeg's at 3.45, so it's not like it's
not that big a difference. Yeah, it's
but to still see Wes Kendall at the top of that list is a little bit of a surprise.
It's a surprise to you for sure.
Mm-hmm. So Wes Kendall's playing quite well, although well, let's just go to the second, I guess, the other matchup in the West, LA and Seattle. It's another 6-game series. LA taking that. That was kind of a coin toss a little bit, I think. I didn't really know how that would play out. I thought, in my estimation, what would happen is LA would adjust better than Seattle would. I don't know if that's what happened, but I do know Seattle won the first 2 games. So it's possible that's how that played out. I just trust Wasty a little bit more as a GM and in terms of coaching than I do Seattle. I'm not actually sure who does Seattle's coaching.
I think Sammy, but I don't know. I think Sammy.
Yeah, I'm not certain. But I know Wasty has been a solid coach, in terms of doing lines and that kind of thing. So I have a fair amount of faith in his ability to make adjustments. And so, yeah, they won that in 6. And like I said, I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I was pretty sure Seattle won the first 2. Yes, they did. And each of them were won by 2 goals. And then actually it was pretty close because games 4 and 5 are both overtime wins for LA.
I have it loaded up, but for some reason it isn't loading. You know what I mean?
Oh, Clint Eastwood was kind of a beast in playoffs.
He's kind of a beast in general, but he's also the only defender that team has.
That's fair, I suppose. He had 11 points in 6 games. That's fairly impressive. Let's go to the East then, unless you have anything else to say there.
No, let's go ahead with it.
First matchup we had is West Kendall Hamilton. That's that's your team.
Let's not talk about
and your former team.
Yeah, that was you know how it is.
Yeah, I don't know how it went down, but when we had that that little weekend fun time thing last weekend, I wrote about Hamilton and I wrote about Christ, basically saying that I feel like he's kind of what's going to determine their fate in the playoffs. If he plays like if he plays decently, they'll probably win. If he doesn't, I think they'll lose. I think he's the thing. He's not going to win them the series, but he could potentially lose them the series. That was kind of my little thing. I don't know if that's what happened, but that would be my guess as to what happened. Do you have any insight on that?
I don't know. We did a lot. We did a lot of testing for it. And it just, I don't know why, but it just didn't work for us. It didn't really matter what we did. We couldn't get it. And I don't know. I mean, part of it, I think, is on the fact that we have such a young goaltender, because they were high-scoring games. You know, West Kendall won a 3-2. Then there was a 6-5 that they lost. Then they won 3-0. Then they won 4-3. Then they won 6-3. I mean, I think having such a young goaltender is going to wind up being a detriment to Hamilton, but that's a detriment that will change with age.
Yeah, for sure. Give it another, probably where he's at, I think probably 2 seasons, and he's not going to be like an advantage, but he won't be quite the disadvantage, right? He'll be kind of just there. He won't be really worth mentioning. But because he's like around 600 at this point, probably close to 600. I think last time I checked, he was in the 500 range, which is not great.
Yeah.
But
I think you're right.
Another 300-ish TPE, and he's fine. Yeah. I was going to say something, but I forgot now.
I don't know. We ran a lot of tests for that series, and we couldn't get anything to take. I don't know why.
The Drive Home podcast that Teddy did.
Yeah.
He talked about he did a lot of testing, and actually I didn't go strictly by what he said, but I definitely used what he said when I was making my predictions as well, because I feel like he's probably correct in a lot of what he did there, and obviously the testing is indicative of what will potentially happen. But yeah, I think I don't remember what he said about the Hamilton West Kendall matchup, but I remember specifically the Minnesota Buffalo. He said it was like 50-50. I think that was a pretty common feeling amongst the league. He said it was going to be a close matchup. Of course, didn't work out that way with which I guess we'll move on to that series.
You want to give us some insight on that one?
Yeah, so we basically, in our estimation in the locker room, is we kind of just lost all the coin tosses in the series, because we should, like I said, I think we should have been very evenly matched. I think in terms of skaters, we're close-ish. They have, I think, better defense. I think we have better high-end forwards.
I would agree.
I think their depth is probably slightly better in forwards. And then goaltending, we're obviously at a disadvantage there. And like with what Teddy was saying, that he basically had, from his test, it was kind of 50-50. So I thought it would be close. And the games that we did play, I think 3 of the 4 were 1-goal games, and 2 of them were overtime. So it was close. It's just in every instance where it kind of came down to, it's something that would decide the game, we just were on the losing end. So.
And it gets rough because Simon is so random a sim almost. There's elements of math, but there is a lot of randomness to the sim. I don't know. Did you listen to the most recent Big Slappy Hour?
Yes, but I don't recall exactly what was in it.
Well, they talked a bit, and I was gonna say because it kind of shocked me that it was only that you guys got swept. That shocked me because even listening to Slappy and Bonk talk about, I had asked about why we see so many 6 and 7 game series in the postseason compared to 4 and 5 game series. And they made the point that you do see more 4 or 5 game series than you do 6 sevens in real hockey. But Slappy made a great point of saying that the sim internally, and he said, this is my theory, he said that the sim is internally striving for parity in the league. So the sim wants to take it to 6 7 games to get the most even result that it can, right? And I think that that's probably exactly right. He said it's just a theory, but I'm convinced that he's completely correct in saying that, which is why it shocked me so much that this was only a 4 game series.
Maybe. I don't know that I agree with that. It's possible, but we'll actually talk a little bit, I think, about the sim a little bit later. So do you want to save that discussion, do you think? Argar asked a question related to the I guess him and Baylor are testing the potential of using FHM as a sim.
Yeah. I've been talking to Teddy about that too.
Yeah, so I think we can probably. I guess if that's cool, we can leave a little bit more of that discussion.
We'll save that for that question because that's a pretty deep question to talk about.
Yeah, I don't know anything about FHM, so
I know enough that I can probably talk about it.
Okay, yeah, I know absolutely nothing. So I should have, and I was listening to Baylor yesterday. Not Baylor, sorry, Argar. I've just completely lost with names today, apparently. But I was listening to Argar's Beancast yesterday, and he was discussing. I made a point of it to pay attention during that bit, and it's all gone. I don't remember anything that he said about it. I remember that him and Baylor were testing stuff with it, and that's all that I retained apparently. So I'm doing real good today. So yeah, I guess we're in the second round then. That gets us caught up.
Yeah, I think so.
So second round then, that leaves us with, of course, there we go. LA and Winnipeg in the West.
Yeah, that's good. I'm giving it to Winnipeg. I just think LA's not as good.
Right, but they're actually ahead right now, 3-2.
I know, but I just don't trust it.
I it's really hard to because Winnipeg's so good, but I do have a lot of faith in, like I said, as Wasty as a coach. I don't know who's doing coaching for Winnipeg anymore. It had been Hazard, but I think that was maybe a few seasons ago he stopped.
Yeah, I don't know who's
he was pretty good.
I always thought Has built lines well.
He did. He had some tools at his disposal, I believe, that were very good. Because he and Tanner were quite close, and I saw the kind of formulas and things that Tanner worked with when he did his lines, and I believe has that stuff. So he's got some really good tools for that, and I don't know entirely how much he uses it, but yeah, he was quite good. But I don't know who does the lines now, so I have no idea how to
I don't know
how to feel about that. But like I said, with Wasty, I feel pretty comfortable. I would feel comfortable with him if I was a player as a coach.
Yeah, I agree. I think Wasty is good at knowing what he's doing. I don't know, man. The talent on Winnipeg.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is their forwards are so good. It's hard to. It's like I didn't bet against them. I bet them all the way to the cup. So
I don't think I have them making the finals, but that's because I have. No, I have Winnipeg making the finals. I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, you had the same as I did, didn't you?
I'm not an idiot. Yeah, I had Hamilton Winnipeg.
So yeah, it looks like it could go LA's way. I want to take a look at the scoring because I actually don't know.
That's 41 rematch, right?
Look at that.
Did LA do it?
No. Jean-Luc, I don't know how you say the name.
Jean-Luc Raffleau.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
15 points in 11 games. That's impressive.
That's impressive.
Yeah, Yuri Boyka Jr. as well, 13 and 11. Both of them have 7 goals in 11 games.
How's Bennett doing?
Really good. Winnipeg, though, I actually want to take a look at, and those guys they're on the same line, on the second line, so they are doing work on the second line. What's Winnipeg doing though? Navigating. Of course, Visser.
Yeah, of
14 points. Only 4 goals though.
A lot of apples.
Oh, Look at that. Yeah, so they got Visser and Weber both with 14 points, and then Volkova, Bears, and CFJ with 12.
That doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise
Yeah,
me to see Weber that high.
yeah, yeah. Well, they don't
He's
have a
just
ton on
consistently
D
good.
after him though.
No, they don't. He's far and away their best defenseman.
Mm. So yeah, they both seem to be playing really well, both teams in terms of scoring at least.
Yeah,
So I wonder
they're just such a good team, man.
what were the scores of these games here. Looks like 2 overtime wins for LA. Looks like all the regulation wins for both teams were 2-point games. So it's hard to say. Looks like Winnipeg's the favorite, I would say, based on that. Because those overtime games can kind of be a bit of like I said, a coin toss. Just which team gets the it's a little bit of luck. So that series could go either way. It's hard to say. Then in the East, I guess we have West Kendall and Buffalo, which I'm sure most people realize at this point is over. West Kendall won in 5. I don't know if
Yeah, that
that's.
was not the result I expected.
I don't know. It's really because West Kendall still has quite a good roster. I think off the top of my head, I would think Buffalo probably only has an advantage at goaltender, and the rest seems quite even. Um, hmm. Yeah, I'd have to look more closely, but just off the top of my head, that's how I feel about that. So it seems like it should be really close. Let's take a look at some Winnipeg or West Kendall scoring.
Playoffs have been nutty this year,
Dang.
man.
They're scoring. They've got kind of Winnipeg level scoring where they got 2 guys with 16 points and then a 13 and 2 12s. All these are forwards. They don't have a defenseman really having a big playoff.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of nutty having a 4 and a 5 game series in the playoffs. That feels nutty compared to how it's been.
What about Buffalo? How's Buffalo doing? And they're not doing quite so hot on offensively. Of course, they play fewer games though. So Luke Atme, of course, 11 points, 9 games. Victor Marius has 10 in 9 games, and then Kevin Hamilton, who I think is he a second liner or is he a third liner? Second liner.
I could not tell you.
Yeah, he's got 9 points, so not quite as strong of a performance out of their guys, and a lot of their guys are minuses too. So that's not a that doesn't inspire a lot of confidence in for me. So well, they lost obviously. So yeah, what am I thinking? For some reason, in my head, this series was still going, even though I had just previously said that it was over. So yeah, West Kendall representing the East in the finals. Right now, it's hard to say. It's hard to say who's going to represent the West. Winnipeg should still be the favorite, but LA only needs 1 game, so I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there. But as far as an East representative in West Kendall, I think at the beginning of the season, a lot more people had West Kendall highly rated in terms of where they would end in their predictions.
Yeah, it's just that they're a gamble every year, and we talk about that a lot.
Yeah, that's like probably the most common theme when discussing West Kendall is like what teams, because this they were a 4 seed, and they haven't had a whole lot of difficulty in the playoffs. So
I mean, this is I don't know. We have an opportunity to see an S41 rematch coming up here.
I think was that LA?
LA Winnipeg, yeah. Or LA fucking
West Kendall area. Yeah. I kind of hope we see that final, because that's to me a more interesting final than Winnipeg. Yeah, more interested in seeing LA in there. I'd like to see LA win. I think I don't really have any stake in it, but
yeah, at this point I don't care.
It'd be nice to see Westy get a cup as a GM. I don't think he has he? Or am I wrong about that? I have to look. I'm gonna go look because I feel like he hasn't. I feel like that's kind of been a sticking point with him as a GM, is that he wants to get his team a cup. Challenge Cup champions. Let's see. When was the last time they won? Have they? S17 was I'm not sure when Wasty started GMing. I know he's been GMing for like a long time,
A while ago, yeah.
but I don't know exactly when that is. Is that long enough? Is that let's see. Find their team history here really quick. I don't see. Oh boy. I went to the wrong section, so I did not find the answer I was looking for. I need team profiles, probably. He started in S15, so he has won one. He won one in S17 then. But still, that's a very long time to go without winning. So yeah, I'd be interested. I would be happy for them if they won, especially since they've been to the finals like 4 or 5 times at this point, too. So
Yes.
they've had chances. So, I don't really have anything else to add. Do you want to move on? We did spend quite a bit of time on that.
Yeah, I really don't have anything else to add to that.
Yeah. So Luke's next question. He says, with all the recent talk about GMs and such, do you like how the GMs handle their new positions? How is new trades with Luke? So how was news trades with Edmonton? And what does this mean for Edmonton and New?
I think they'll probably be fine either way. New England may be a little bit better with biddies now, but I don't know. I don't think that. I think it was a pretty even swap.
Yeah, they've done a couple of things. They added backup goalie from Calgary. I think partly because Lokkonen is quite long in the tooth at this point. I don't know what Lokkonen's CP is at, but it's got to be quite low because James has been inactive for quite some time and is fairly deep in regression, because I think James is like, or Lokkonen is like an S27 or something like that. So I don't know if their plan. I'd have to look at TP, and I don't really want to go dig around for that right now. So I don't know if that's like just kind of a filler for the time being. So they've got somebody who's maybe a bit more serviceable. I don't know what Prince is at, but I don't think he's terrible. What else did they do? Sent the rights to Fletcher. Oh boy, that name. Pyotr Shirkowski?
Shikowski, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. And then their S44 first to Edmonton for Biddies, Brock Becker, and third, Edmonton's S46 third. And of course, Fletcher then signed in Edmonton for 2 seasons. So that seems fine, I think. I don't know who I would. Well, I don't know what season Biddies is. I feel like he's older than Fletcher, but I'm not sure about that. So I don't know
yes,
if.
No. Wait. No. Same age, right?
They could be. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
Could be.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
Ace and Ewok?
Yep.
They were S36, right?
Were they both?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think so.
Okay. So that's fine then. I think it's pretty.
It's an
pretty
even trade. I think it's an even trade. I think both teams are going to be fine. I don't think anyone won that trade. I think they both won that trade.
Yeah, it seems pretty even. What else we got? We got they did a second trade, Edmonton and New. This sends the rights to Spitfire to Edmonton for Pennywise and TLK's player, which feels like it makes New England slightly less competitive, but makes them younger, which is fine, I think. I'd have to look more closely at those 2 players. I don't know either of them well enough. I know Pennywise is active. I'm not 100% sure on TLK, to be honest. Yeah, he's active. He's been online. So that should be fine, I would think. Let's see what else. What else we got? New England, Calgary. We already kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
I guess those are all the New England moves then, huh?
Yeah.
Other than extensions, but
Yeah, well, I don't really count those.
yeah. I guess the other thing to talk about is the switch to Ace over Storm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. No, you could
I know.
talk. You could talk about that. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't want you to really say anything. I mean, I don't think it's that big a deal. I don't get what the big deal is.
I don't know. I think let's talk about how good nobody is as a fit for Toronto. I feel like that was a no-brainer.
Yeah, I feel like
to put nobody in that position.
Like even when what was it our last podcast when they asked about this, it was because they excluded you from the question, so I was trying to stumble around through rosters to figure out who might end up, and that was the first and most obvious choice, and so yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah, I mean I think everybody was kind of like, oh yeah, of course, that's it. I didn't feel like this. I didn't feel the same way about Storm in New England. Just looking at the roster, I didn't go, oh yeah, he's for sure going to be it. So I didn't really know what to expect with them. So I didn't see that as that crazy that they went outside the organization. I have, and although in past podcasts I have kind of championed the idea of continuity on a team, so maybe that's a little hypocritical, but yeah, I don't know. It's what I really like about seeing GMs switch teams is we get this player movement that we get to see in these trades, which I think makes the league more interesting. So I like that part of it. Let's see what else. What does it mean for Edmonton and New England? I don't know. I don't think it means a whole lot. I think New England's going to be a little bit less competitive, but they are already kind of fringe at this point anyway. Edmonton probably gets slightly more competitive, but they were already considered, I think, very good. They lose a little bit of youth, but they gain Fletcher and Spitfire. Did Spitfire sign? Actually, I don't know that.
I don't think so.
So that's
but I don't remember.
Yeah, let's see. Not there. I don't see it yet. Yeah, I don't see it. Edmonton. No, I don't see it yet. Unless it's not processed. No. So that's interesting, I guess. Let's see what happens with that. That's maybe that could be interesting. See what happens there. I feel like if I don't know, Fletcher moved and signed quite quickly. So maybe Storm's just got his mind made up that he's going to free agency. So that could be interesting. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there.
What else? Is there anything else we can? How are the trades? I think we
talked about that. Yeah,
pretty much in agreement. The trades are fine.
I think both teams are going to wind up just fine, regardless of the GM and the trades made. That they're going to be fine. New England's still going to be inconsistent for a bit. Edmonton's still going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and then of course Winnipeg's not really going to see any change. I guess he didn't ask about Winnipeg, but
I do think Edmonton's going to suffer more losing Ace.
I don't know. I mean, if Spitfire signs, they're in a really good spot.
It's true. I'm saying I think Edmonton's going to suffer more because Ace did a lot of work for that franchise.
Oh, did he? I actually have no idea. I know Carlson's is usually the guy, but I would guess Ace is fairly active as well in terms of managing the team. But I have no idea. So anyway, I guess I don't have anything else to say there. No. You got anything else?
No. I like I said, I think both teams are gonna be fine. Edmonton's gonna suffer more. Carlson's is a great GM, just that Ace did a lot of work for that team. So I do think that they're going to. I think we're going to see Edmonton missing Ace more than New England missing anything. Honestly, New England's going to be fine.
Okay, so Luke's last question is how has the rain been? That's weird. Have you guys had rain?
Yeah, it rained like fucking crazy yesterday, but it's just been nice and cold today.
Okay, it has been raining here actually a lot, which I wasn't sure if he knew that or if he was just asked. I don't know. It's a weird question. It has been raining a lot here. Basically, not like a lot like in terms. Well, no, that's not true because there has been flooding. But it's been raining for like a week and a half, something like that. It feels like. Not heavy, just like constant. So it's been pretty boring and miserable because it's cold as well. So
Yeah, and actually, it's been really nice. I think it was about 50 today. It was gorgeous.
Oh, really? Nice.
50 and a little bit breezy. It was like jacket weather. It was great.
We've been in the kind of like high-ish 30s for maybe about a week.
I wish that's where we were right now. We've been, it was like, yesterday it finally got decently cold, but Tuesday and Wednesday it was like 80 here. Which sucks. I don't know. It sucks being in the middle of October and it still feels like July.
See, I don't mind that at all. At all, even a little bit. I hate the cold.
Oh, I thrive in the cold.
Oof. Not a fan. Let's see. What do we got? We got. Oops, I'm typing. Get rid of that. Okay. Good old Kimmy. He's got a question. Actually, not really a question. He just says talk about awards and stuff. I guess we kind of did last week. We can. Was the season over? Was it last week? Was the season over when we did that? I don't remember. I know we talked about it, but I don't remember if the season finished.
Yeah, it had. I think it was. Yeah, because it was the weekend. We were waiting the weekend before playoffs started.
Okay. I guess. Do we want to go back over that stuff, or do we want to just really quickly kind of rehash what we said?
Yeah. No, you know what? If Kimmy wants to hear about awards, you can listen to last week's podcast.
Hey, Jason Visser. Oh, you know what we can talk about is because what do you call it? The Summer Mod Con voting is up.
Oh yeah, that's happening.
Hilarious.
Isn't it? Yeah. What I haven't been reading up. Who's the favorite right now?
There are 4 votes in like what we're at 2 days now, and they're all for Visser. I think people are just like,
unsurprising.
It's Visser, so who gives a shit?
It should be Visser. It should be Visser. That's end of story.
I'm voting for Louis Garrett right now just because. Louis Garrett. How do you spell? Is it two R's and 2 T's? Let's see. Let me make sure I'm getting this right.
Oh, you're doing Garrett?
Yeah, just because nobody else has voted.
Oh, we doing live Star Mod Con voting. I'll vote right now. Hell yeah. Who can I vote that is totally not going to win it?
There we go. Louis Garrett. Because
Am I allowed to vote on this? I'm totally allowed to vote on this, right? I'm the award committee. This is by the players, right? I'm allowed to vote on this, right?
You're a player, yeah.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm voting. Yeah, I'll do it right now. Let's. Did you just post yours?
Yeah. I just voted Louis Garrett. He's not gonna win, but I feel like he deserves to be in the conversation,
Garrett.
even though he isn't the winner. He won't be the winner and should not be the winner. He deserves a mention.
Because why not?
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. I got you.
I think that was kind of what I was yelling about last week. Because I feel like Louis Garrett's not going to get enough mentions, but he deserves a mention, even though it's clearly Visser.
Louis
I don't
Garrett.
think anybody would argue that.
Why not? Jason Visser, because Rich said otherwise.
I don't actually believe Garrett deserves it. I just want him in the conversation.
Here it is, for the record. Oh, I could have done an intro about how I changed my avatar again. It's been months since I've done that.
Oh, have you? Let's see. Did you post? There it is. Oh, is that the thing you've got here on Discord as well?
Yeah, I just don't have Nitro, so no gifts. You know how it be.
Ah, okay.
Sometimes it really do be like that.
Those are dogs, huh?
Yeah. Look, everyone, I'm a weeb. Point and laugh.
You get enough of that, I'm sure, without.
None at all, actually.
No?
None at all.
No
one ever brings it up.
Huh. I mean, I guess you don't advertise it too much.
No.
Are you though? No. Even? Or are you just?
I'm like somewhere in between. I'm still like cool and normal enough that people don't really give a shit about it. But basically.
I would have been borderline maybe in the late 90s.
That's fair though. That was when the good shit was coming out.
Before weebs were like really a thing.
Yeah.
I guess probably. When
I was like, what, Bebop and the original Ghost in the Shell and.
Well, I had to with Dragon Ball Z, which was my thing, because it was still being made at the time. This would have been maybe, I don't know, like 97 or something like that, 96, 98, somewhere in that area. I had to email a dude in New York to send me and send him basically the cost of VHS tapes and shipping, and he would VCR copy fan dubs or fan subs rather. So people would subtitle this stuff as like a hobby, and then he would make copies and send them back to you for basically the cost of the tapes and the shipping. So that's how I got my anime back in the late 90s. For Dragon Ball Z anyway. For other stuff, it was like I could get other things in the stores, but like yeah, that was the one that I had to seek out in a very strange way. That like isn't even that's such a weird thing to think about now compared to then compared to now in terms of how anime is consumed. Like yeah. Anyway, fun story.
Hey man, it's okay. DBZ, that's good. That's the good shit. That's the stuff everyone knows, you know.
Yeah. You can watch a half an hour of like nothing happening. Ugh. Looking back on it, it's so terrible, but I loved it at the time. Anyway, our guys got
it was a good detour. I like it. Anyway, Kimmy, if you want to listen to awards, go listen to last week. You fucking idiot.
Oh jeez, well that's very rude, Kimmy. You should definitely be upset.
Yeah, man.
You shared 2 teams with this clown. Oh my god.
I'm still your boss for another week.
Okay. Argar. So he
Argar.
says,
let's actually get some real questions in here.
Minnesota Buffalo. What the hell happened? Basically, I think
Buffalo fell apart. Or no, Minnesota fell apart. What am I talking about?
In my head, we outshot them. I think in every game.
You did in every game.
And
it was primo, baby. It was primo.
Couldn't finish. Yeah, I don't know. I think we just I said it earlier. I think we lost all the coin tosses when they mattered.
It was you guys just the sim didn't want it this year. Like I said though, I'm honestly surprised it was only 4. To bring up Slappy again, I like the idea that the sim seeks internal parity, whether that's true or not. But it was I don't know. You guys just you didn't win the coin flips when it mattered.
Yep.
Happens.
Yeah, it's just the reality of it. I don't really feel bad. I think I didn't feel bad losing. I feel bad losing the way we did. So, yeah. Next, he has top 100 players of today. Should the player ratings be weighted based on the most recent season or should previous seasons be taken into account? His current weighting is 60% for the previous season, 30 for the season prior, and 10 for the season prior to that. I don't think it should be. Well, okay.
That's tough. That's a tough question.
It depends on what your goal is. I think with this because when I think about it, I always think about because the one that I pay or the thing that I pay attention to is like the yearly NFL top 100 players, which
I
think is supposed to be just for the previous season.
Yeah, it's just the previous season,
but it's definitely not. Like it's definitely not. Players benefit on that list from past performances, for sure, because they get kind of this reputation. There's like, I think it was a couple seasons ago. Was it? I don't pay attention close enough to know all the drama and things around it, but I think it was JJ Watt who was injured for like almost for most of the season.
Yes, he had a bad injury. Yeah.
Very high on the list, and so clearly that wasn't only the current season. I mean, even though I guess probably in those games he was still quite good. But I don't know. It just feels like there's more. It's more than just the current season.
It's
people
tough.
Voting. It's not objective. It's very subjective. So you get players that have kind of a history of being good, getting a little bit more credit or a little bit more, little bit more leeway than other guys maybe.
Yeah, I definitely think it's worth taking into account previous seasons beyond just the one before. And I like that he does say that the weighting scale is 60% for the season before the rating list, 30% to the one prior, and 10% to the one prior to that. Because it does give a sense of growth. I mean, I'm going to use me personally here because I'm a narcissist on top of other things that have not been diagnosed. Kruger came into the list 2 seasons ago at, I think, mid-70s. But Kruger this past season was low 80s. Because I just had a shit year last year. But in this next list, I expect Kruger will probably be a fair bit higher because this was the first year that he broke 40. This was just a genuinely great year for Kruger. So I think that it works using maybe the last 3 seasons because it does show a progression of it. Guys aren't going to be ranked high purely because they had one good year, right? Using 2 or 3 seasons before offers both a sense of growth, but also a sense of averaging. You can average out how good someone was over 3 seasons, whether it was 2 peaks and a low, 2 lows and a peak, or just all across the board fine. So I think I agree with specifically the way that it's being done now. I think that the way that he's doing it now is probably the best possible way to do it.
I think part of it is because since it's all algorithm based now, it's all formula, right?
Yes.
So in the past, when he did voting, I think maybe it was this kind of like weighting was a little more, I don't know, organic. Like people would do this kind of this you know I don't know, would vote players higher if they were good consistently. And this way, it kind of, since he's not doing that anymore, it's all based on his formula. You kind of have to get a little more consistent results. Also, if it was only previous season, there'd be some kind of wild changes on that list too, potentially. People going way up and way down. People falling off the list entirely, probably. I don't know. It would be, I think, too goofy. I think maybe you could adjust the scale a little bit to weight current, or most recent season a little bit more.
A little bit more, maybe? Yeah. You could maybe give it, 75, 15, 10 maybe?
Maybe. I don't know. 15. I don't know. It's really hard to know. If I was him, I would probably just tweak it a little bit, see how the list looked, maybe, and see if it made a huge difference. I don't know. I think it would take some tinkering to kind of see what it looked like, see how it felt.
Yeah, but you're right. It probably is worth doing that to make the previous season before worth more.
Yeah, I don't know if you needed to make it a much more, but I don't know. I think that would maybe satisfy people a little bit more too, because it seems like every season people complain that they're not high enough or whatever, and it's been forever really that this list has been taken into account previous seasons. It hasn't necessarily with the formula, because like I said in the past, it was all voted ranking, right? But people still seem to complain that they're not getting as much credit for their current season. So I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the way that it's being done now, but it can always be tweaked. Everything can always be tweaked.
Yeah, I've never had a problem with it. I've never had taken any issue with it. So
yeah, maybe I'll get above 75 this year.
Oh, good luck. Good luck. That 30% and 10% is going to kill you.
That's the problem, isn't it?
I don't have anything else there. You want to go to his last question there?
Hold on, one more time. Sorry, I went deaf for about 1.5 seconds.
No, it's fine. That happens. Last question, or you want to? You got anything else?
Yeah, I got nothing else to say on that. I like the way that it's done now, but it can always be tweaked. Put me at 50, goddammit. Love you, Arger.
It's already done. Haven't you looked at where you at?
Well, this past season I was like 82 or something. 86 or something like that.
Didn't he already do the or didn't know he? I think he said in his podcast that the calculations were done. The list was done. He just hadn't posted it.
For S43?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the list is done. He just says it's not up. I think.
How much? I got a question for you. How much money do I got to pay you to slip me up to like the top 25?
Oof. Probably not much, or probably way too much, because I'm sure he's still got a pretty massive bank account. So.
I meant real money.
Money matters. Oh.
No, I meant like I will PayPal you. I will PayPal you to make me number 6.
Yeah. Yeah. Last question. What are we doing? How are we doing on time, by the way? It feels like
I know. It feels like it's been a fast podcast.
It kind of has been. It was off to a very strange start, and then yeah.
We are at 49 minutes and 13 seconds.
Uh-oh.
So this is a big topic, though.
Yeah, is it? I actually don't. Oh, yeah. Okay. This is the FHM question. So he says, do you think there would be any interest in a new sim league based on? Oh, and he wants. Oh, it's new sim league. I actually thought he had meant to switch us over.
Oh no, you can't. That's the thing. The way that unless you wanted to. So you said that you aren't super knowledgeable about FHM, right?
No, not at all.
So do you have any experience with like Eastside Hockey Manager?
Very little. I know like tinkered with. Actually, that's kind of how I found the SHL. Sort of. I was looking through the Steam forums, and somebody had posted the recruitment thread in there. This is way back. Because I was curious about what EHM was about, and um, so yeah. And yeah, I know the like rating system is completely different, like entirely different in that anyway.
So the thing is, you could theoretically switch the site over to EHM or FHM. FHM for the sake of the comment, for the sake of the question. You could do it, but the problem is you'd have to completely overhaul the update system.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You either completely overhaul the update system, or you try and tie stats in FHM broadly to umbrella terms the way that it's being updated now, and that won't work. The thing about FHM is, and since I asked if you had experience with EHM at all, because the ratings and attributes pages for players in these sims are 20, 25 different attributes going on, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm more familiar with EHM's specific attributes. I haven't touched the new FHM or anything that they've changed, but like in Eastside Hockey Manager, you have forehand shot as a stat, backhand shot as a stat, wrist shot from distance, wrist shot from close, slap shot is its own different stat, right? It's so specific, and it's cool as a concept, right? Because in theory, you can really build specialists in these kind of systems. Mm-hmm. You can build guys that are good from the point because their slap shot is killer. You can build guys who are dangerous up close because their wrist shot is so deadly. You can build real, genuine specialists in this system. But the problem is that you either try and umbrella tie it to the system we have now, and that would be a pain in the ass, and it would probably be more work than it's worth, or you overhaul the entire update system, and at that point, you might as well make a new league.
Yeah, I suppose.
Because it would be rough, and you'd have to completely change the concept of TPE even, because with so many attributes, how do you do an update scale? Or do you do an update scale at all? Do you just make it 1-to-1? Because there's so much to update, right?
Mm.
It's tough because it is a better sim by a mile. And it's a more specific, more accurate, more interesting sim by a mile. But you'd have to do a lot of work to change the site over or make a new one. And both of those have their own issues. If you change the site over, you're going to lose people. There's going to be a loss of retention because nobody wants to learn it. If you move to a new site, you now have to build an entire community from the ground up again. Mm-hmm. There's no winning with it. And trust, I've done a lot of talking with Teddy about this because I know Teddy's into FHM, but it's a great idea, and I would love to see it happen. Do I think there would be any interest in a new sim league based on it? Yes, I do. I don't think it would be as much as you'd like, but it definitely would. You can fucking count me, sign me up, you know? But because I love the concept of a much more specific, much more dynamic, much more accurate, realistic, less fucking bullshit sim. Which is a comment that is going to get me shit from some people, I'm sure. All things considered. I'm not going to talk about it, but all things considered. You could do it. It would just be rough. It would be real rough. I think there would be interest, but it would be really rough. And as far as I know, because I know Ted had toyed around with the game to see how it would look for a simmer to do it, and it's rough on the simmer because there's no CSV imports or anything, so you can't just import an Excel spreadsheet or something.
Yeah.
It would have to be done by hand, painstakingly, for every attribute for every player, as far as I know. It would be tough. It would be really tough.
I wonder if there's some kind of editor that could be. I don't know how that would work. I have no idea. I don't know enough about the things about the. Yeah. I don't know. Well, okay. I wanted to say something really quick about SDHS.
Do it.
Yeah. So I think part of the issue with SDHS is that it Simon tries to simulate results, but part of how those results are then achieved are kind of funky. Like in terms of Tanner used to talk about likelihood of success and things like predictability of outcomes within the sim. And the predictability of outcomes was actually, according to, I guess, like the numbers he put together, were very, very comparable to real life in terms of like the better team winning, or the worst team having an upset, that kind of thing. So I think when Simon builds it, he builds it with the intention of kind of matching those results. But then the outcome is that the way the sim gets there is kind of weird sometimes. So you get strange things happening that you wouldn't expect. That's really all I had. I don't think it's quite so random most of the time. I think most of the time everything kind of makes sense, but you get these like a weird way. It's a weird path to get there, but I think overall the results make sense. Anyway.
I feel like I could ramble about this for hours, but I'd be saying the exact same thing for hours. Just that it's such a great idea, but it would be so difficult to pull it off and keep people invested in it.
Yeah. It's tricky. How close have you played? Oh boy, Football Manager. Have you played that before?
Maybe. No. Oh, yeah. I've played 2015, I think.
Okay. I was curious to see, because when I was looking into things like EHM, I was hoping basically for a hockey equivalent of Football Manager. Because I played a little bit of Football Manager.
It's not quite the same.
It's not? Okay. So I was curious if it would be kind of similar, because there's a lot of attributes in that.
I think Football Manager is probably a bit deeper than EHM. EHM's great, and it's cheap, and if you like hockey management, it's a fun little thing to dick around with. You have to import mods to get NHL rosters, but
when I was looking into EHM, that's what I was looking at to see what it would take to make it NHL.
It's a good little sim. I like it. I hear franchise hockey manager is great. I just don't have money to pick it up right now, so it's a good sim, and I think it's a good idea to do a league based off of it. It would just be difficult. I feel like it would be a very tough run.
Yeah. Neat idea. I'd be interested to know like what kind of things I guess I should have paid closer attention during our podcast, but I'd be interested to know like specifically what they're trying to accomplish, and what their what their plan would be for the league. Because I would possibly be interested. I just retired my player in GOMHL.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of, I think I'm going to take a little time off over there, even though it's like very hands off and takes almost no effort. I kind of want to take some time off, so I've been looking for something else to do. So I would be potentially interested, but of course, I'm sure this is not like happening right away.
No, right? This would be some time to set it up. Yeah.
How are we on time? Are we getting close?
We are probably
out of questions.
We are 2 minutes back. We have 2 minutes.
Oh my god.
Okay, let me think.
Player movement. I'm hyped for the off season.
Let's do it. I'm excited.
I'm really excited.
I'm excited for free agency.
Yes.
I'm not going to be in it this year, but I know you are.
Right now, I'm technically in it.
We'll see what happens. I guess so, because your season's over.
Yeah, my season's over.
I mean, so is mine, but
so we'll see what happens. I'm excited because we've already seen a bunch of player movement and a bunch of trades, which is really great. I love that stuff. I love seeing the league change slightly. I'm a little disappointed that there hasn't been like
something earth-shattering
changes that will significantly shake it up. There's been some slight shifts, but I think like the big ones have been New England and Edmonton. We already kind of talked about that. I don't think Edmonton changes. Oh, the Blackhawks just scored. So I don't think New England becomes more competitive. I think they're still kind of in that fringe category. Maybe a little bit lower than they were before. And Edmonton, I think, is basically in the same spot in terms of the competitiveness of their roster. So I don't think we see a whole lot of change there. Let me look at the other. Oh yeah, the other thing. What's his name? Crutch being announced as the co in Texas before he's even on the team. That's fairly interesting.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Did you do that?
That's
Hold
that's
on a
what
minute. I'm
makes
in
it
head
weird,
office.
right?
Can you do that?
They said in the announcement that their intention is to draft him.
Their intention is to draft him.
Right. That's what makes it weird, right? They announced him as the co with the intent to draft him before.
Do they
Like,
have the
I don't
first
know where they're
overall pick?
picking. I mean, they're gonna have a high pick because Texas was.
Well, okay, but if they don't have the first overall pick, that's no guarantee. You can't do that. I don't think you're allowed to do that.
I mean, I don't think there's anything against it. It's just kind of like you're showing your hand, and if another team at this point,
God, now I
wanted
want
to
someone
mess
else
with
to
you.
draft Crunch.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much value Crush would have to other teams because I don't
A
know. I
lot.
guess there's a lot of good players in this draft, so maybe he's not really that high up there.
He's
Not the.
he's a dedicated active though.
Yeah, I mean,
He's a dedicated active, very well liked around the site.
he's not the player he used to be, though. I mean, when he was first joined, he was really, really active.
It's
He was
true.
looking to have a really, really good player, but this is his third player, isn't it?
This is his third. Yeah, because Crutch.
His last player was not.
Blackwell
Yeah.
didn't do much.
So his value
That's
might not be that high. He's probably still a first round pick, but I don't know. It's weird. A very weird situation.
No. Now I want Crutch to go one away. We need another hostage situation this season, man.
Well, that's the thing is it wouldn't. It's different than with like what happened with Sammy too, because there's no claim to that. Like Sammy was already the GM, had been on the team previously, and then recreated. So it's like I don't know. It's very strange. We filled 2 minutes, right? I'm not trying to get out of here.
I know.
I know we didn't. I know we didn't have the volume of questions this week that we had like in previous weeks.
We're at an hour and a minute. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
While we're here, I want to see a hostage situation, man. I want to see a hostage situation.
What I think is probably more likely is when that's the thing. Announcing your intention is super dangerous because if they want to trade up then to try to secure the pick, there's not much incentive for another team to not ask for a big, a high price for the pick. I don't know. I want to see where. Let's see. Where did Texas finish? I have the thing open. They didn't finish. They finished fairly low-ish, but they weren't like. I mean, they're a lottery pick, so.
I guess head office applications just went up.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, because we were missing 3, right?
Yeah, it's just me, Eggy, and TDZ right now.
Oh, nice. Wow. Jeez. Yeah, I saw that too. That's fairly interesting. I don't know. I have no idea who has the interest. There was like a moment where it's like, I wonder if I no.
Nah, do it. Come on.
No.
Come on, come party.
I'm good. I'm so good.
It's totally not stressful.
I am enjoying being a player, and that's it.
That's fair. I can't even argue with you on that one.
I never like even the fact that I was like co-GM in Kelowna that was not a plan at all. I had no interest in management at all.
I get it. I'm looking forward to this season being over so I can stop GMing for a while. I'm ready to just deal with this cast and my HO work and updating and then like actually be a player again.
Yeah. Being just a player is very interesting, especially if I think you kind of, I don't know, force is the wrong word. If you make your GM manage you, meaning we're like negotiating a contract in a slightly more legitimate way. I didn't most recently with Minnesota. I basically said I'll sign here for the minimum, but I'm kind of excited for the potential of negotiating a contract.
What was it? There was a great tweet last year maybe from this what was his name? Let me pull it up real quick.
While we're doing that, I wanted to take a quick look at who it was that was. It was Wally Avakale, and who's the other person that is no longer? Oh, Jay Cortezi, 81. I'd forgotten about him. So those are the 3 that are no longer. I guess Avakale resigned.
Yes. Yeah.
A little bit early.
Yeah.
So we got like basically 2 full slots, and then the other one's like a half.
Yeah.
Did you find it?
Yes, I did. So, a couple of good tweets from this guy. You might know him, maybe. Goes by the name Jonathan Lundberg.
Oh, yeah.
Great couple of tweets here. I like this one in particular. Next time contract negotiations come around, ask for more money.
Yes. Was that one? Because I know there was one about the same time where I said something similar to that, but I said something like "you're worth it."
Yeah, back
So
in
was that about?
February. Back in February, it looks like you said, yeah, like this.
Because I
No,
know.
this is the one I was talking about.
Uh
Just
oh.
this is the one I was talking about. I love how much bite there is to this tweet. Going to free agency to sign for the minimum. Okay, sure. That you know. So I wanna remind everyone of the wise words of
uh,
Jonathan Lundberg. You don't have to sign
yeah.
for minimum.
No. Make your manager manage you. Make him do something.
You don't have to sign for minimum. Remember that, folks.
It was another thing that came up recently. Was it CFJ signed with a bonus clause, basically saying that if in S44 he had X number of goals, he would get an extra million on his S45,
Yeah, and
and
that
that's weird
shit's
to me.
cool, man.
I like it, but it doesn't matter because they could have just given him the 5 million because they have to pay that out of their budget anyway, so they have to have that budget available.
It's
So
true.
they could just give him the 5 million. So that's
It,
a
it doesn't
weird.
matter, but I like it because it feels like real hockey.
Yeah, I do like it for that. I do for sure like that. But it's just like I don't know. It just seems like kind of pointless. Like, what are we? What? Just ask for the 5 million.
I dig it though, man. Keep doing some cool shit. Make this feel
If the
like
budget,
real
yeah, if the
management.
budget mattered more and
Well,
so many
exactly
people
right.
didn't take the minimum, that would be a lot more interesting, right? If the
Yeah,
team, if that put the team in a position where they would have to be like, oh, we have to now account for this, but
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter
they
now.
kind of, they kind of don't. So yeah, cool.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about. I guess we could talk about this. This has kind of been on my mind a little bit lately,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's that because I don't remember who I was talking to, and it's kind of goes against the idea. I don't know if it goes against the idea of this podcast, but it is something that is just kind of weird to think about for this cast in particular. But have we considered inevitably getting like guest speakers on at all? Because I feel like it'd be interesting to bring in someone like Argar for some of these really sim heavy questions that we get.
Yeah. I know we off air. I think kind of. I don't mean to discuss it, but it was kind of. It was just a. Maybe we should do that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know if
know.
we ever really seriously thought about it or discussed it, mostly because we don't have difficulty filling the time.
We don't. Yeah, and to me, I don't want to make it sound like we need more opinions to fill time.
Right. But it would be interesting to hear from somebody else. But part of that is I don't really want to give up the money. But
It's true. I mean,
that's part of the
we could
reality.
force them to
But
not take any money.
no, no, no,
I'm
no.
sure we could find people who would want to do it for free.
I would want to split everybody even. Even in the event that somebody is dominating the conversation, I feel like splitting is just I don't want to open up that can of worms of like trying to divvy out the money or just
Yeah.
just split it even.
I'll be completely honest with you, Rich. At this point, I don't know how much money we get from these podcasts. I just do them because I like doing them.
Well, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
big part of it. But for me, it's a huge part of it. Like I'm kind I really want to have every piece of TPE I can have available
Yeah,
to me at this point in my
absolutely.
career.
Yeah.
And part of that is making money and part of the reason I like the podcast kind of setup is because 1.5 million each week is training plus a little bit of gravy,
It's
which
a good
is
feeling, absolutely.
perfect. Perfect. And then on top of, jobs and contract pay, and the extra million from fantasy, it's like a nice I'm up every season right now.
It's a good
A
cash flow.
little
It's a
bit.
good cash flow.
Yeah. Yeah. So it
Um,
works out really great. But yeah, I don't know. It's as far as like actually entertaining the idea of a guest. I guess yeah. We like I said, we haven't really, I don't know, seriously discussed it. So I don't know. I don't know what we do either with what Luke and King do. It's a kind of a setup where that's what they bring the person in for. They bring them in to interview. So I don't
yeah,
know
and
what
see, I don't know if I would want to do that, you know?
I wouldn't because
I feel
mostly
like,
because with them it makes sense because they're very new and they're
yeah,
looking
and
to kind of
it's their bit.
yeah. For us, I don't know.
We're the
Yeah.
analytics podcast, man.
Yeah.
It's not obviously not to act like other podcasts don't exist, but in my head it's like I listen to Luke King for the interviews, I listen to Slappy and Bonk for some really good comedy and just genuinely great insight into not just the league but the world. And then I listen to us for the statistics because we do a lot of stats talk.
Yeah. And I think what we do and what the other podcasts do and like what Slappy and those guys do, it's all totally different.
It's very different.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's one of those things I've been thinking about. It's not a pressing matter or anything. I do think that this is a good setup.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like someone asked me about it this week, and I said I would talk about it.
Yeah. Did somebody ask in like the context of they were interested in coming on?
No, I just think in general they were like talking about guests on podcast and whether or not it was
Yeah.
something we thought about. And I'd said I don't know. I think we've talked about it, but neither of us is really in any hurry to have somebody else on.
Yeah. It's not like a priority. It's not something. I guess I think at some point Argar had said something about like, hey, when am I coming on, kind of thing.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
And I
Like I
think
said, I'd
that's
love to have Argar on. I think
yeah.
he's got a lot of good
I don't
insight.
remember if that was why it was brought up when we kind of
Oh,
briefly
maybe
mentioned
that might
it.
have been why we talked about it.
It might have been, yeah.
I don't remember.
But yeah, we'll have to talk about it because yeah, I don't know what we do, and the way we also the other part of it is the way we kind of have this set up is if we would have to know in advance and so we could get the questions that would pertain also to the
Yeah,
guest.
to them.
Otherwise,
Yeah,
unless they could just I guess they could just weigh in on the stuff we're talking about.
yeah.
Because
No,
typically the questions we get aren't specific to us. They're
no. We get
broad.
league stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and I think I don't know if this is what you were going to say, but it also is something I thought about that we don't really do a whole lot of prep for these questions. I feel like, at least for me, almost everything that I'm saying is very off the cuff.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff is things that I've thought about kind of over the course of my time on the league.
In the
So
league, right?
I have ideas and thoughts that are kind of already there. They're not like fully formed or really refined in any way. So it's very much impromptu, but there is a little bit of like a little bit of base to it, I guess.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't know.
hmm. I wanted to say something else about Twitter because
Do it,
I,
yeah.
um, when I there's like two kinds of tweets that I do. Ones that are like serious that are like recently I was gonna actually claim some Twitter money because why not?
Yeah, why
And I
not?
haven't done it in forever. I want to go back there and look at that. So a little more reasonable. Like the last one is a whole bunch of player movement going on lately. I like it, which I do. Um, but then there's the other ones which are like that one with um the commentary, the maybe not so
The no, brilliant.
reasonable
It's
commentary.
brilliant league commentary. I don't care what anyone says.
So I just want to make it clear. I don't know if I know we discussed this off air one time, but when I do that stuff, it's not to be taken super serious. I do it
Yeah.
in on Twitter because I know I don't have to defend it. I don't have to back it up. I don't have to. It doesn't have to have any I don't have to rationalize it at all. I'm just throwing it out there because I know it doesn't require any defense or response or anything like that.
Yes.
It's just a little. It's like just venting, basically. Venting.
And that's what Twitter's great for. It's what Twitter's great for.
Right. And I know it does occasionally get a few eyes on it, but I don't care that it does because all it is for me to kind of vent this stuff out there. So yeah, that's all. I just want to make sure that's clear so people don't think I'm a shitty person towards the league about these certain topics.
I don't think anyone thinks that.
I don't think so either, but yeah,
I see why you want to clarify it though.
because I'm me,
For me, I read it and I'm like, it's nice to see people, and I do it all the time. I tweet when I tweet, if I ever fucking tweet. I tweet a lot in character, but it is refreshing to see someone with genuinely hot takes on the league. It's very refreshing for me, but I'm also used to a lot of sarcasm in my life, and there is a lot of maybe not sarcasm, but like intentional. Fuck's the word I'm looking for here. It's biting, right? But like in a playful way.
Mm-hmm. I want to actually another thing I wanted to bring up was that piece of media that Slappy had posted the other week because it's kind of related to what I just talked about on Twitter. Where's it at here? Oh god, did it get graded? It might have got graded already, so it might be gone. But oh man, I need to see it because there was something in there specifically that I wanted to. This is becoming a problem because I don't know where it's at now. Sorry. Need to find his threads. Well, where is it? There it is. Okay. Let's see. Well, part of it was basically the idea that because we feel so strongly about the things we yeah we feel, assuming that ours is the objectively correct kind of side, and I do have that have an issue with that, that I try to kind of I try to catch myself and understand that just because I feel strongly about something, it doesn't mean it's objectively correct or the way that everybody should feel. And that's what I part of the idea of these tweets is that to vent that feeling and try to get rid of it, kind of. So like these things that are things that I wouldn't say normally, I'm just trying to get rid of them, so they're kind of like, like I said, venting, getting them out of my system. So that's um, yeah. I really enjoyed what Slappy said, and I wanted to kind of mention that. Yeah, it's I think it's pretty natural, that feeling, that idea.
Yeah,
When you're passionate about something.
Where was this? I feel like I missed this.
It was.
Was it a media piece?
It didn't get a ton of attention. It's in graded right. I just clicked on him on his profile and went to his threads. But it's like a treatise on understanding and love. It's basically, I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff in there. Yeah. The big thing that I took away from it was that bit about here we shouldn't have to defend our positions because they're so clearly right and good. If someone doesn't get it, it's their problem, not my job to educate them. This makes it so much harder to see the world in a different way. We're all a product of our upbringing, and our beliefs reflect our experiences. We can't expect others to spontaneously change their minds. If we want to change them, we have to make a case for it. You don't need to abandon your principles, only your scorn. Come with pointed questions, but also with kindness and humor as a human being. So that's the part that I really like.
Is this right after the fucking HO ruling? Was that what this is right after?
Not right after. It was. I think it was. I don't think it was directly related to one thing in particular. It was just kind of a few things that had kind of happened over the course of like.
Yeah, I mean there was a good period there for where the site was just really.
Yeah,
at each other's throats.
Yes, I think it's a response to people being nasty when it just seems unnecessary. When we're all here for the same reason. We all like this weird hockey thing. I think it doesn't make sense to be just nasty to one another when we're all kind of probably more alike than different. So yeah,
that's a fair point to make. I think
it's a good read for anybody.
It's a good. I'm gonna link it in the description. I'm gonna link it. I feel like it's something that everyone should read.
Plus, Slappy said we're his favorite podcast. So.
It's true, and he that includes his own podcast. So I'm gonna take that as a massive win. You know what, Slappy? I agree. The Rich and Adam podcast is also my favorite podcast.
It's pretty good.
It's all right.
The Kit Cast is coming out, so my favorite may change.
Is that coming out?
For now.
I'm kind of in though. I'm kind of in on the Kit Cast. Hold on.
Yeah, he's asking for questions. It's gonna be him and Wannabe Finn.
Oh, now I'm super in. Kit and Finn in the same podcast? Sorry, Slappy. You might not be my favorite after the next week here. And on that
we're way over now at this point.
Absolutely. We're almost at an hour and 20. We tried to come up with something to fill 2 minutes, and we filled 22 minutes.
Yeah, that's how it goes, right?
So on that very lovey note about loving each other, if you've listened this long, thanks so much, and know that I love you. As always.
Would you read my tweets and know that I don't love you?
Yeah, fuck you. That's a direct quote from Rich. Fuck you. You heard it here first. As always, I'm Adam, and this is Rich.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.
Later.